Hi everyone, so I'm going to be going over the May 19th classwork. The first thing I want you guys to do is to watch these two videos and take some detailed notes. And then after that, I want you guys to start some of these problems, and you're going to work on that on a separate sheet of paper. So I'm just going to work, I want you guys to be doing 7, 8, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I'm just going to do 16 and 18. And I want you guys to do, for 7 and 8, I think you guys can go back to the video I made for yesterday to help you with that. I want to get into these problems where you have, let's see, a binomial mixed in with the problem. So I'm going to start with 16 here. And remember, we're just trying to figure out what x is in this problem. So for this one, we've got 4 over 6 equals 8 over x minus 1. But I think the first step is always the same. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cross multiply. So I'm going to highlight that in my teal, and I'll do the other one in red. So we have 4 times x minus 1, and then we have 6 times 8 over here. Okay, so 6 times 8 will be right there, is equal to, I'm going to make this bigger, 6 times 8 is equal to 4 times x minus 1. So we can go ahead and solve 6 times 8. 6 times 8. What does that give you? That gives us 48. Now, whoops. Now we have 48 is equal to 4 times x minus 1 and, 4 times x and then 4 times negative 1. So remember, when you distribute, you have to multiply by both terms in the parentheses. So we're going to have 4 times x first, which is just going to give you 4x. And then we have 4 times negative 1, which will give you negative 4. Okay, so next step for solving this problem, now we just have 48 equals 4x minus 4. What's the next step? So we're trying to get x by itself. Do you want to get rid of this 4, or are we going to get rid of this 4? I think it's always easier to get rid of what you're adding or subtracting rather than multiplying or dividing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4 here. So the opposite of subtraction is addition, and what you do to one side, you have to do the other. So I'm going to add 4 over here as well. So negative 4 plus 4 cancels. We can carry this down. You get 4x here, and that's equal to 48 plus 4. That gives you 52. Okay, so we're still trying to get x by itself. We have 4x equals 52. 4x, same thing as 4 times x. And to get x by itself, what's the opposite of multiplication? We'll have to divide by 4. So this cancels over here. Now we just have x equals, and what is 52 divided by 4? Well, actually, I'm just going to go through the long division for that one, because it's a good time to review it. So 4 goes into 52 how many times? So just to review this, how many times is 4 going to 5? That would be once. 1 times 4 is 4. Bring down, and I subtract. This is 1, then I carry down my 2. Then how many times is 4 going to 12? That's 3. So 4 times 3 is 12, subtract, then you get 0. So in the end, you should get x to equal 13. And I just reviewed the long division just because I think that's an easy thing to forget. So, okay. So your answer will be 13 here. So I'm going to highlight that. That's all you got to put for this. So I just reviewed 16. I'm going to do 18 next. Okay, so for this one we have n over n plus 1 equals 3 over 5. So this one's a little bit different because we have a variable in two different places. And I'll show you how that's going to change this problem a little bit. So first step is the same. We just have to cross multiply. So I'm going to do n times 5 this way. And then we have n plus 1 times 3 this way. So what's n times 5? That'll be 5n is equal to, and I'll switch colors, 3 times n plus 1. So we have 3 times n plus 1. So I think the next step as far as simplification goes, let's distribute this 3. So we have 3 times n, and we have 3 times 1. So we still have the 5n over here, so I'm just going to copy that down. So 5n is equal to, what's 3 times n? That'll be 3n. And what's 3 times 1? That'll just be 3. So 5n equals 3n plus 3. So next step, we have 5n over here, we have 3n plus 3 over here. If you have a variable on both sides of the equations, you want to bring it over to one side because that's kind of more, that's a simplified version of that. So we want to simplify. So it'll be simpler if we have an n only on one side of the equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this 3n over here. So if I want to get rid of a 3n, I'm going to subtract by 3n over here. And then what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So I'm going to subtract by 3n over here. So it cancels over here on the right side. Now it's 5n minus 3n, that'll give you 2n. So now we just have 2n equals 3. So we want to get the n completely by itself. So we have 2 times n. What's the opposite of multiplication? That'll give you division. So we got to divide by 2 over here, divide by 2 over here. So in the end, we should just have n is equal to 3 over 2. So you can, and can you simplify 3 over 2? No, you can't. There's something that goes into 3 and 2. So you can leave it as 3 over 2, or you can make it a decimal. It would be 1.5. Okay, so I just worked out 2 of the problems, so you guys have 6 to do on your own. So give those a shot.